An ancient proverb states, "From small beginnings come great things." That's the story of Singapore, as well as Electronics and Engineering Private Limited. As the nation of Singapore built itself from the ground up, overcame many challenges, pioneered new endeavors, and excelled at new heights, so did E&E, a company, as well as a nation, that has found its true identity and heritage. Nestled on a small block of pre-war houses along Outram Road, Electronics and Engineering began its journey here and continues to thrive 60 years later. Over the years, E&E has stuck by its roots in business and continues to live upon the principles instated by its founder, Mr. Goh Kyok Chuan. Mr. Goh was no stranger to overcoming challenges and pioneering new endeavors. Throughout the 1940s and 50s, he had already begun laying the foundation of the future of E&E.
Even at a young age, my father had a work-hard ethic. He always wanted to be an entrepreneur. He opened a photo studio and a singer sewing machine agency in Benut. He rode his bicycle from villages to villages, servicing sewing machines and taking photos, developing them when he is at home, and delivering the photos on his next round on his bicycle. He married my mom, who was from Benut, and moved to Singapore in 1942. I was born during this time, in 1944. After the war had ended in 1945, my father found a job with Shaw Brothers as a cinema projectionist and with Ranger Corners as a service engineer. Subsequently, he joined Hong Kong United, a film production and distribution company who owned their own cinemas. He became their technical manager and rose through the ranks. He even helped his boss, Mr. Cham Kam Yuan, to produce a Hokkien movie in the film studios right here in Singapore.
In the early 50s, Mr. Goh left his other jobs to partner with two of his friends in another venture. This new company would specialize in two main areas, radio and cinema. And so, in 1951, Electronics and Engineering was born. The two partners soon bought themselves out of the company, and E&E was run solely by Mr. Goh Kyok Chuan.
My parents sold the two houses they had bought after the war for $30,000. They spent this money to restart the business, and my mom was always believing in him and supporting him.
In the late 1950s, E&E specialized in refurbishing cinema projector systems and became a main supplier to local cinemas. Entering the 1960s, however, sound systems were becoming more developed for the cinema industry, and no one could ignore the fact that professional sound reinforcement systems were in high demand. As Mr. Goh Sr. concentrated his efforts on cinemas, Mr. Ronald Goh turned his attention to professional sound engineering.
One of our first contracts was to install the sound system for the first discotheque in Singapore above Gino's, an Italian restaurant. It was aptly called Gino's A Go-Go, and the DJs were university students who frequented the place. The disco fad was just beginning, and we installed many other discos after that.
As E&E entered the 1970s, Mr. Goh Kyok Chuan had the foresight to take on even bigger projects. E&E was chosen to upgrade and install the sound system for Singapore's National Theatre, and soon after, the Jurong Drive-In, the first and only drive-in cinema in Singapore. But E&E's first real big break came in 1972 when the company won the tender for the first sound system installation for Singapore's National Stadium. It was the first opportunity for E&E to work with an international consultant, Dr. Yakik Figwa.
I arrived in Singapore in 1973 in May to do the final checkout and adjustment to the system. I was met by Ron Goh, who was project manager. We worked together. It involved climbing on the roof of the stadium, and if you know what was the structure, it took almost acrobatics to get from one side of the roof to the other.
We had to relearn everything about large-scale project management and the proper way to put the whole system together. I'm glad they restored the elements for the last 38 years. I've been told, and I'm very glad, that the old audio consoles in the control room will be preserved and relocated intact in the museum dedicated to the Grand Old Dame in the new stadium complex.
The pro audio market in the 1980s was growing, and more recognition soon followed for E&E. Mr. Goh Kyok Chuan's hard work and investment was starting to pay off.
Bron's father, Mr. Goh Kyok Chuan, was a person of immense patience and a great sense of humor.
He valued relationship with people as well as with the business associates.
Among the many things that my dad taught me, he added that there are two things that you must remember if you want to be a businessman. One, a commitment is a commitment. Two, pay all your bills. I have taught my son Gary to do the same.
In the early 90s, E&E secured the first contract for the Hard Rock Cafe's sound system installations in Singapore and the surrounding Asian nations. Due to executing every project with care and diligence and living to their motto of getting it right the first time, more jobs and contracts came flooding in. As the late 90s approached, many popular theatres called upon E&E's proven experience, but there was one theatre that would take E&E to the next few levels: the Esplanade Theatres by the Bay.
10 years ago, we built the system. Until today, the system is still in the leading edge of technology because this is not only a theatre for Singapore, but it's an icon for the country as well.
It doesn't seem like any project is too large that E&E can't handle, which is why Marina Bay Sands entrusted E&E to install major audio systems inside its facilities.
We're honoured to be part of such a groundbreaking project here in Singapore, and it's been a journey from the day we looked at the first drawing to the day we handed over the system. I think I can speak for everyone in the team when I say we are proud of what we've accomplished here.
It was the most toughest project that we ever encountered for the last 60 years. The number of speakers that we have installed, more than 7,000, already enough to surpass the speakers that we have even sold in any 2 or 3 years.
Every one of our projects is accepted with total satisfaction from our customers. That legacy holds even today. We optimize and we deliver with total satisfaction.
I was proud to be joining E&E knowing the heritage behind the company. My father has been a pioneer in the industry, and it is his passion for this business that has made E&E the success it is today.
For the 60 years of history, they're led by Mr. Ronald Goh, a person who have a lot of passion. Age might have catch up with him, but the speed, I think, had not slowed down at all, because I'm still catching up with him.
I am very proud of my son, Gary, who will be taking over the leadership of E&E. He is ready to take this legacy on and bring E&E to the next level.
We've grown from strength to strength and built up a dedicated team over the years, and although we've grown to the size that we are today, I'd still like to think of us as a family business because we're all part of the E&E family.
We have raised the bar many times. Everyone who knows Pro Audio knows who E&E is. This is a legacy for the next generation, for the next level that E&E will go to.
For E&E, the next level of greatness is just one step away. Over the years, this pioneering company has had to overcome much. But through hard work and perseverance, they have tackled the great. As the company celebrates its 60 years of legacy, it celebrates its roots in business. A business that operates as it always has, to deliver excellence in everything they do.